If somebody came up and slapped you, what would you do? The only answer is you get a brick and you beat his fucking brains out.
You taught me a lot about fear, Dan. I wouldn't have been in the ring without you. I wouldn't run for mayor without you. I wouldn't have done a lot of things without you, because I now look at fear as something I need to engineer into my life.
Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. 95% of the things we worry about never happen. I've lost $800+ million in my life, and I've made it back. But most people are worried that they can't make it back. So as long as they don't cut my fucking tongue out, I'm not worried about making more money.
What's your number right now? Because it's a lot more than $1 trillion, isn't it?
8.6.
And it's going to keep going up.
Yep.
What do you think it'll be in 10 years?
When Trump stays in office, the sky's the limit. Can't quantify it.
You've been big on cybersecurity the last 5 years, but now you were talking AI.
10 to 20 years from now, all jobs are going to be replaced by AI. I don't care if you're a plumber. In your website, put AI at the end. If you're not an AI, go home. There's a lot of money to be made.
Dan, what if there's someone listening, they would say to themselves, I am a cunt, to say your terms, and I need to change myself if I want to get something out of this life. How can they do it?
You have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to have a driving force. If you don't have a driving force, and if you're only going to try, you're going to fail. What are you going to tell your grandchildren 25, 30 years from now? What did you do during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? Well, what are you going to tell them?
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Dan Pena, the high-performance business coach, founder of the Quantum Leap Advantage, and one of the most uncompromising voices on finance, discipline, and personal accountability. For more than 3 decades, you have taught people how to build generational wealth from nothing, how to construct businesses that actually scale, and how to remove the emotional weakness that stops most people before they ever start. Thousands have trained with you in person, millions have done so virtually, and the impact can be measured in the trillions of dollars. You are a defining force in the history of London Real. From our groundbreaking first interview released Easter of 2014, to my time at your Castle seminar later that year, to our feature-length documentary film, The $50 Billion Man, to our live events at the Ritz and beyond, and through many multi-hour conversations that have reached tens of millions of people around the world. Today, I want to get your thoughts on the global wealth reshuffle, the geopolitical tensions pushing the West towards instability, the rise of AI and automation, the disruption of money through crypto, and what people must do now to stay competitive in a world that no longer tolerates hesitation and emotional softness. Dan, welcome back to London Real.
Thank you very much.
It's been 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. It's been 11 years since the start.
I know. Where you been for 6 years? Were you boycotting me?
No. I mean, as you know, the seminar I give now, I only give it at my home, Guthrie Castle, and I still speak pro bono at universities, and I'm not going to stop that. I've got a couple of new leaves to extend my table or my runway, so to speak, and I'm still busy. I'm involved directly in 26 companies, indirectly in about 100, and I keep the kids, which you know I call everybody a kid because I'm either old enough to be your grandfather or your father. I keep the kids on their toes, and I do my best, which is better than 99.9% anybody else, to keep them accountable. Because almost all the things you just mentioned, okay, the answer is accountability. There was not a book. I think maybe Mrs. Gates, Bill's mother, wrote a book about when she had Warren Buffett over for dinner, 40 years ago. And they were sitting around the table, and Warren's there, Bill Gates Sr., his dad, the lawyer, and Bill. And so there was a lull in the conversation, and his mom said, what would you, and she didn't point the question either at Bill or at Warren, what would you say is the single thing using one word for your success? They both said at the same time, focus. And what I've said for 50 years of my career and 33 years of coaching, the guy or gal, or it now, that gets laser beam focused first, stays laser beam focused longest, wins most. And it's about focus. And focus is the answer to almost all those comments that you made. The president is focused. He's not just focused on getting even with the people that fucked him around. Nobody has won an office in politics around the world, I believe, that didn't get as much shit as he got, okay? And he's still there. And I wouldn't bet against him being a president again.
In 29.
Correct.
You're predicting Trump will still be in that Oval Office.
Just as I predicted negative oil in 2020. Just as I predicted that he was going to bomb Iran, and he bombed Iran.
Sure.
To say he thinks outside the box is an understatement, a biblical proportion. He doesn't even have a box. He thinks out of the stratosphere. And so whatever you think absolutely he cannot do, he will do. Now, I'm told, I have no absolute proof about this, but he's got people that are backing him, haven't told him they're working on changing the Constitution with their money, not his money, not the government money, with their money, so he can run again. So we'll see. I told you just before we went on air, my career has been lengthened. My runway has been lengthened due to President Trump, because 75% of the things I agree with, 25% of the things he does, I wouldn't do the way he does them. But he's president, I'm not, okay? So, and he can get away with, I want to say murder, but he can get away with anything because he's the most powerful guy on the planet. So,
how has he extended your runway? Because he's going to lower rates? Because he's pumping investment?
Because
it makes it cool to be brave again.
Correct. I haven't seen the buzz that's in New York City since the 80s.
What, walking around there?
Well, I mean, people are walking like on skateboards,
really?
From Back from the Future. People are, you're not ashamed to make, well, when I was there, if you made $2 or $3 million, you got your balls busted. You're not ashamed to make 20, 30 million bucks now a year. And some of the guys, we had a hedge fund guy that came to the seminar in November. He was deciding whether he was going to make 21 or $31 million a quarter, okay? And whether he was going to push it into the next year, this, that. People were afraid to say that.
Right. A year ago, you couldn't say that.
Correct.
But now you can again.
Correct.
Because it's cool now to be bold
Correct.
and brave and boisterous.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not unheard of now to have other people other than myself have their alligator mouth overload their hummingbird ass. I mean, I fucked up. I made a mistake. It cost $6 million. So what? I made you $80 million last quarter. They used to say that in the 80s, smaller numbers. But now you can say it again in 2024, 2025, and going into 2026 for sure.
Isn't that incredible that one guy can change the whole vibe of the world in 10, 12 months?
But what the opposite side of the coin, they're saying, so did Hitler. And so did Mussolini. So did Mao Zedong. So did Stalin. And obviously there's some truth to that.
How do you rate his first 12 months?
I think he's done great. Yeah. I thought that he would do a little more. But he's got a balancing act. We have a balancing act. It's our emotional bank account and our financial bank account. His balancing act is different. I know he wants to get even. Okay. In some cases, I don't blame him, but he's got to run the fucking country.
Right.
And he's responsible for a lot of the things, i.e. NATO, etc. So he's got a balancing act. And most of these guys he thinks are wusses that are running these countries, and they are. The same thing, it's like I attended a Ford Foundation board meeting decades ago with Governor Hugh Carey, former governor of New York, who was on the board. And we sat down, and we had been tuned up, drinking too much at lunch, and so there was something that came up about child education. They were going to table it to the next meeting. 15 months later, I'm at this board meeting again with Governor Carey tuned up. The same fucking thing comes up, and they're going to table it again. That's how the corporate world is. It was then, is now, and probably forever will be. Because nobody wants to be on the hook. Nobody wants to be able to, Brian Rose did this, or Brian Rose approved this, or Dan Pena approved that, or the investment committee that Brian Rose and Dan Pena are on approved this. Nobody wants to take that heat now. But it's been like that for decades in corporate world. And one of the reasons that he's got so much done in Manhattan when he was in the business, whether he started with 4 million or 400 million, depending on which story you want to believe, is that he went down there. He'd go down there and have people sit in the counselors or in the county offices and push the shit through. Did he buy them lunches? Did he take them on golfing retreats? Maybe. Okay, but up until 2006, those kind of bribes were legal in the European Union. It's only since 2007 they're now called illegal and bribes. You can't do it anymore. But if you've got a sales staff, IBM has been working there 20 years, that have been taking people for ski weekends to Zermatt for 25 years, and all of a sudden you can't do it or you can't write it off. Is that going to change anybody's habits? Probably not. So, I mean, and he's dealing with a lot of that, and he's dealing pretty well. I wish some of the cabinet members were a little tougher. I'm told that the guy, which is his czar, that is negotiating with the Middle Eastern guys, fuck is his favorite word.
Okay. Witkoff.
Witkoff, that guy. Yeah. Who's a very successful billionaire developer.
Yeah, real estate guy.
And apparently Kushner, although he's supposedly a devout Jew, likes to say fuck and cunt too. You didn't go to Harvard, you went to MIT. A study came out beginning of 2024. Harvard spent $10 million on this study. The people that use swear words are more effective. $10 million fucking dollars. It's a joke.
You've always said that.
Yeah, well, I always said that, yeah.
What do you think Trump, you said he could have done more. What more could he have done? Just pushed harder? Cabinet members that push harder? Because, man, he's working hard.
He's been soft on Putin.
Okay.
He likes Putin.
Right.
And he thinks, up until just recently, that Putin likes him. Putin doesn't like anybody.
Right, he's just playing him.
Exactly.
Right.
I would have pushed hard on Putin, or the people that were pushing on the people that pushed on Putin. We had a son of an oligarch come to the seminar last year, or this year. Remember, I trained 6 of the 9 oligarchs in the early 90s. But okay, well, their sons are coming back to the seminar now. And he says, thank you for not nobody knows his dad's name, so thank you for not telling anybody who I am. And he said that the people that are under Putin that could take over, if something happened to him, are worse than him.
That's what I hear. Yeah. Yeah, he's the good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope this gets settled. It looks like Trump's trying to push it through, but I guess we'll have to see what happens. You just had a seminar, and I asked you, how was the caliber of the kids? And then you kind of told me, and then you said,
okay,
we're fucked,
the kids are worse, but the results are better.
Okay.
Okay, and the results are better because, even Father Time here moves with change. And so starting about 3 or 4 years ago, we started experimenting, testing, blind testing, using those fancy words. And what we got the best effects with. Before, I'd wait 3, 4, 5 years to see how you did. Now, I wait 3 or 4, 5 months. Okay, and you questioned me when I came in. You had 1 live guy there. No, I had 2 live guys. I actually had 3. I had 1 on webinar, live on the webinar, and we had 2 that were live in person there, and they just suck it up.
Right, that makes the difference.
Oh, yeah. And we use webinars a lot more than we did before.
Yeah.
And they like to see a guy that looks like them. One of the favorite webinars is a guy, Belgian Waffle, one we call him. He looks like a librarian, okay? But he's a librarian that's got about 50, 60 million euros now after 4 years. And he wouldn't say, to look at him, if you were a terrorist on a bus, he's the last guy you worry about striking back. And he's done terrific. And the hardcore are very successful because we have a lot of successful people there. And we happen to have at the hardcore that he went to, we had a guy who's just about to sell his business for 500 million Swiss francs. Okay, he's been doing this 5 years. He's turning 30 years old. But what we're seeing more of that we didn't see before is people want to exit earlier. They want to exit. They want to be able to have a few years. 30 is nothing. We both know that, okay? Yeah. Okay, but they talk like it's the end of the world.
He used to call me a kid at 42, 43.
Yeah, exactly. And so the kids having more interface with past successes has really not turned the corner, but has shown people in this market post-COVID, because everybody was scared to death about Corona, which I call COVID Corona, and we're doing better. And the real thing, one of the things in conjunction with the two things I just mentioned, is the fact now we really pound seller finance.
Right.
We just did a...
So forget the banks for your first couple deals, just seller finance.
There's not a webinar, but a testimonial that's going around. Is an Aussie ex-convict. He watched 5 videos. He went out and did a $2.4 million deal. And he came to the last hardcore, and he says, and he's uneducated, and he sounds uneducated. He's not pretending to sound that way. He is that way. And he says, if I can do that after 5 videos, and right now I'm here to tell you, he should have closed today a $20 million mining deal. He offered him $30 million seller finance for a $20 million deal. Remember, you name the price, I name the terms.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And contrary to what you think, seller finance 100%. So he's buying the guy's business with his own goddamn money. And he's doing $10 million more than he was asking. Because he's going to refinance it in 2, 3, 4 years. And he's going to pull the purchase price out and put it in his pocket.
That's QLA.
Yep, that's it.
But you said long-term, we're fucked. Why do you say that? You're talking about people.
I'm at this 50 years, and I watched the kids for 33 years, and the quality of people that we have come through the seminar are weak. They're just weak. They have no gumption. You know the test. If somebody came up and slapped your or spit in your wife's face, what would you do? There's 3 alternatives. 1, A is I'd ask him if he was having a bad day. B, C, the only answer is you get a brick and you beat his fucking brains out. Failure rate is up to 98.6%. I thought it when it was 92% when the test first came out. Can't get any worse. Failure rate is up to 98.6. 98.6 of blue-blooded Americans, Brits, Aussies, etc. Would rather switch than fight.
Why is that happening? Like, if you really had to think about it.
Poor role models.
Okay.
We don't do what our parents tell us to do. We do what we see our parents do. Now, I had an assassin, CIA, killing monster for a father.
Yes, you did.
Okay? So you can't really put me in that pool. But who I believe with all my heart invented tough love. Okay? When I did something wrong and when he did come back into town, my mother had a thing on the refrigerator with a refrigerator magnet. The nuns would have beaten me. The priest probably would have beaten me. My mother would have tried to beat me, but she wasn't very successful. She's a little teeny thing. And then when my dad came home, God forbid, I mean, even if it happened 9 weeks before or 3 months before, my dad would beat the shit out of me. And so I never did drugs. Nobody believes that, but it's the truth. I never did drugs because I was afraid my dad would kill me. I mean, literally kill me, not just pretend to kill me. And the guys that came to my 80th birthday, there were 4 or 5 guys that have known me since I'm 10, 12, 15 years old, and they all said the same story. We didn't do drugs because we were afraid Mr. Peña would kill us too. Because if Danny did drugs, that means he got them from us. And their fathers each were happy with that, fine. Mr. Peña can do the heavy lifting. He can beat the shit out of Howard. He can beat the shit out of Bud. He can beat the shit out of Walt. And my dad did.
So he scared the whole neighborhood straight.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So we're just continuing to degrade, and the kids are coming in, and when you can't think it get any worse, it's actually worse.
It continues.
And communication skills not probably getting worse.
Their communication skills are piss poor.
They say at Harvard the students don't even turn up to class anymore. They don't engage in debate, and these are Harvard kids.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't even want to talk to other people.
Yeah. Well, I believe that, and because of Corona. They've lived on the internet for 4 or 5 years, and they don't have the communication skills at the level they should have if they had been going to class, they had been interacting with other people. And but all the schools are the same, you know. Occasionally we get, you know, a bright tool, but all the tools that they have are dull. It's like a carpenter, nothing's sharp, and it's just, and they have other desires, and you know, right now. Information is almost instantaneous worldwide. You can find out stuff that you really don't need to know, but you can find it out. And the kids today start from, you know, they know how to work a handheld machine since they're 3, 4, 5 years old, okay? And they haven't interacted. And a lot of the stuff that are on these apps is not good for them. It just isn't good for them.
How do you get out of a rat race? How do you create wealth not only for yourself, but also for the generations to come after?
I am absolutely amazed with the quality of companies that we're getting exposure to.
We go on to Zoom calls with the innovators and the folks who are building new applications in metaverse, blockchain, artificial intelligence, decentralized finance.
What's going on, everybody? Thumbs up if you can see me.
We are focusing on early stage investment.
And the quality of people that we're getting exposure to, whether it be Dan Tapiero with 1RT, Jason Ma from Open, Yatsu from Animoca.
It's been a phenomenal experience thus far. It has far exceeded my expectations.
We are focusing on cutting edge technologies.
I view it now as the best investment I've ever made. The upside, I view, is unlimited.
And as a retail investor, I would never get this exposure anywhere else outside of Investment Club.
See you in the investment club.
Education, when I graduated from high school in 1963, supposedly, education topped out, 63, okay. Now a high school degree from then is like 2.5 years of college now, okay. And it's hard for me to believe. I graduated with a 2.55 average out of high school. I only went to college because a couple of the other guys were going to college. And the only college I could get in was the school you got to explain about, okay, which Belinda Gates just gave $248 million to.
To where you graduated?
Cal State Northridge.
Really? Did she go there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was within the top 5 woke schools in America.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I was negotiating with them to change the name of something for a measly $10 million. They stopped talking to me. Okay, well, we don't need your money now. You know, we've got plenty of money.
Okay. And they're going to stay woke.
Yeah. Well, they are certainly woke.
If you had it to do over again, would you send your kids to college in this day and age?
No, I probably wouldn't.
Really?
No.
Not worth it?
No.
Because you get the mind programming and the education doesn't teach you anything practical.
In the case of my daughter, I paid for all of it. In the case of our youngest son, he paid himself. That was important to him.
Okay.
But most kids have debt, student debt. And when you come to me at age 41, you still got student debt. I mean...
And you see that with your kids.
Yeah.
Damn. And it's big.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, BU's not cheap.
No.
They're rackets. These universities are rackets, right? They're woke factories that charge hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to give people a degree that's basically useless.
And then they stay, and the kids today aren't aggressive. When my kids got out of undergrad, I didn't make a phone call to get them a job. Took Kelly 7 months to get her first job. Okay. Took our son Derek 9 months, but they got a job, okay? And then she went to New York and started selling real estate and started making 20, 30 grand a month. And I thought, well, she's never going to go to grad school. But she had promised me, so she did go to grad school. And she got in Northwestern. And our son took a couple years off before he went back to grad school. But they will both tell you their graduate degrees mean nothing. Now, in our daughter's case, the big boss in the division she works in went to Northwestern, the Medill Communication School, whatever it is. And so that's helped her some, okay? But unless by serendipity you happen to go on the same school and the big boss, you're close enough to the big boss that he actually recognizes you, I mean, it's a waste of time. Now, I interviewed a Kennedy not long ago. Looked like Robert Kennedy. He's from that string. I mean, I said, his name's Kennedy. And I said, how many times have you been told, and then he finished the sentence, that I look like my great-grandfather, Robert Kennedy? More than I can count. And I said, done you any good? I went to great grammar schools, great junior high schools, great high schools, private. It got me into Harvard. I'm not sure they looked at my forms, you know. But other than that, I'm still unemployed.
Okay. So the degree doesn't count for much these days without the hustle.
No, if I went into Kennedy's probably a name I'd pick.
Yeah.
Or Rockefeller or somebody.
Yeah.
Rothschild in Europe is different. If you're a Rothschild, your life's made.
You get what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How much longer are you going to teach seminars?
Well, for sure as long as Trump's in the White House.
Okay. So it could be till 33.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but for sure, I'd be crazy. And some of the big things that he's going to do, he hasn't announced yet. I'm not surprised that he picked Hayseth to be They don't call him Minister
Secretary of War, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, War.
I think that's, it's a little bit of a stretch. Now, I hope that he didn't say, like right now it's going viral, the last two guys that were on the ship, they were alive still.
Apparently.
And the admiral says they were getting ready to be combative. They're on fire. and Hastings said, kill them all. Now, I hope they don't have that on tape, but,
They asked Trump about it today, and he said, well, we are at war. He said something like that. All right, so Trump has more stuff planned, but as long as he's in office,
it's good for business.
It's good for you, because you're the personality type that QLA promotes is the one that Trump now says is the right one.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to be an alpha male. 98% of the high performance people on the planet are, not alpha males. They're regular people.
You always say that to us, but it's hard for us to hear that because we see you. We see Dan Pena.
Well, in the first years that I was selling the seminar, which I thought that, it was an easy sell, but we can't be you. And the few guys that have tried to be mini-me's got in trouble. Okay, we've had a couple of kids arrested for stalking because they wouldn't take no for an answer.
They showed up at the bank.
Yeah, well, and Carl Icahn allegedly, got a guy at Bank of America fired because he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Okay.
And me not taking no for an answer is different than some little librarian from Kansas.
Okay.
So
they try to be you and then realize they're not.
But I wish I had made a deal in the beginning for 2 or 3 tailors, 3-piece suits, Rollses, Rolex watches, and a few other things, because you only have 2 times to make a first impression. First, when I look at you. Second, when you open your mouth. And even the guys that dress nice like you, when they open their mouth, they put their foot in it. Okay, and even though they have the scripts and all the things which saying that stuttering, I mean, doesn't do you much good. And at my 80th birthday, we had the first and only student that I gave an A when I taught, John Macias. He was a stutterer. He doesn't stutter now. He's a psychotherapist now. The first teenage multimillionaire, Matt Posius. He was the first internet guys, rode around in Lamborghinis with girls with big tits, He was there with his wife. And the first guy that I helped on Wall Street, who's a big partner now with JP Morgan. So those first, but even when I wasn't coaching, I was always making people accountable, and Wall Street, the day ended, when we were on the West Coast, ends at 3, 2, whatever it ends. We're there at 8 at night. I mean, doing the work, because we couldn't depend on the research that was coming out at that time. Now, some places had great research. We were not one of those places.
Right.
We weren't. Okay.
Right.
And we were just fooling ourselves to say that we were. But I mean, it's our market. I keep saying on the seminars, this is our time. What are you going to tell, and you've heard me say this, your grandchildren 25, 30 years from now? What did you do during the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? What? Sit with your thumb up your ass? Now, the grandkids won't say that, okay? Well, what are you going to tell them? And it reminds me, this is an awful thing I say about my family. My family has mortgage burning parties. You pay off your mortgage after 30, 40 years. You have a block party and a 55 gallon barrel drum. You barbecue and you're burning the mortgage on it. And I first saw that when I was 12, 13, 14. And I asked my dad, what the fuck? Why are they, what proof do they have that they own the fucking house? Okay? But they were doing it in defiance. Fuck you, I'm burning my mortgage. I'm sure there's still some people that have that mentality.
But that was their great accomplishment, to pay off a 30-year mortgage. Right, and not to dream
just bigger. As I was a first kid on my mother's family, that's the only reason I went back to college, to graduate from college. Nobody had ever graduated when I came back. Because I needed to go back to school like I needed AIDS. I mean, didn't do me any good.
Well, I dress this way because of you. That's the truth, as much as I might.
John Kent's retired, I hear.
Yes, John is not around as much, but Terry's there in great form. And they're doing big business. They're doing a lot of business in the States now.
Really?
They're going to New York and Miami and just lots of client business. So they're hot again.
That's good.
I think you probably made them hot. Yeah. They get a lot of business from you, from me.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it's very good. What's hot right now? Because I know you've been big on cybersecurity the last 5 years, but now you were talking AI, is what you're into now.
If you're not an AI, go home. I mean,
every business. Okay.
I don't care if you're a plumber in your website, put AI at the end, you know. I mean, you might as well go home.
It's the future.
And I've said 40 to 60%, 10 to 20 years from now, 40 to 60% of all jobs. I used to say entry-level jobs. I don't do that anymore. It's all jobs are going to be replaced by AI.
So what does that
mean?
We
have robots at the castle.
You do?
You know, we have Gordon 1 and Gordon 2.
Serving drinks?
Huh? No. They're doing the yard work and
really?
stuff. And my staff is crazy with insecurity.
Really?
We haven't laid anybody off.
Okay.
But we're getting 4 more robots.
Gardener robots?
No. In the house robots.
Really?
G&T, John. G&T, gin and tonic. Correct.
Wait till Elon starts cranking them out.
And they don't take time off. They're never fucking sick. They don't eat.
Until one day you wake up in the castle and they're standing over you.
Well, now you've probably heard this story going to MIT. There was about 10, 11 years ago, they had the Grand Masters, might be Caltech, your dad's alma mater, but one of those 2 schools had a big chess tournament. And it had the 4 or 5 Grand Masters that were around at that time against the newest IBM computer. It was a 3-day tournament, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, the humans won by this much. And so the guy, the moderator, a Caltech professor, probably had hair like this, said something to the effect, well, can we learn anything over and above what happened at the recent tournament that you lost to these guys? And don't trust us. Don't trust us. They're going to eat our lunch.
Is this how the world's going to end?
I think so.
You think they're going to end us?
Yeah.
The ultimate exterminating factor. And that happens.
I love watching those movies.
Like what?
Robot with Will Smith.
Odd Robot, yeah. You think it's going to happen in 50 years, 100 years?
Yeah, you're going to die before me, so you'll already be dead. Okay.
How about
that? I plan on, I still have to go into space.
Right.
One of my goals, and have sex with Sally.
Right. I heard this recently.
And Sally already put our down payment. You can pay $20 million to the Ruskies tonight.
And go.
No training, no nothing. They'll come and pick you up right here outside the building.
Right.
And you're on the space station in 3 days.
Ruski craft in the 80s.
Yeah.
Is it safe?
Yeah, well, it's as safe as you're going to get anybody to take you.
All right.
If you do a NASA, 5 years.
Before you can go.
No, the training.
Oh, the training. Oh, right. The Ruskies don't care.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
And you don't want to do one of these chicken shit ones where you go up.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I felt sorry for the Star Trek guy. 91 when he went
Shatner.
up. He just went up for 8 seconds, 2 minutes. He came back. He looked like he was dead.
With Bezos, yeah. I was hanging out with him a couple years ago at a crypto conference. Nice guy, legendary guy. Yeah. So you're gonna go up for real with Sally. That's on the goal list.
Yeah.
What else?
Sex in space. And even if I burn up on re-entry, that's fine. I don't give a shit.
All right. And Sally's okay with you saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sally says we got to somehow get shields or block. You know, she's not against the sex and space part, but she doesn't want it to be so you can look at it on your cell phone down here.
Somebody will be watching.
Well, I'm sure someone's going to be watching.
Okay. All right. So that's on the bucket list. What else?
I'm the newly appointed apostle of finance for the Catholic Church.
I heard about this.
How did you hear about it? I didn't tell anybody.
Lord help us.
Well,
you were.
Lord is helping us now.
After a few drinks, you were talking about it in your post-conference stories. You kind of mentioned it.
The guys asked me.
Yeah.
Because now I take calls now. I never took calls before. It's the Vatican.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about this. First of all, you were just knighted by the
Pope
Vatican.
Looks like you.
Really?
Just a regular guy. A regular guy.
You know? I mean, I'm not just a regular guy.
No, I'm
good looking,
with a nice
well
suit,
dressed,
but I mean,
smart. Great broadcaster.
He's smart. Well, he's not a broadcaster.
Okay.
Somebody asked him when we were there about podcasts. He didn't know what we were talking about.
Really? He's a different kind of pope, right?
Yeah, correct.
And he's the smart guy.
He's from Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. He's good with numbers too. Yeah. He ran the books for a while.
Yeah,
and they said, and that's why you're involved.
Correct.
Because he was going to sort the books out. Part of the reason I heard, now correct me if I'm wrong, because he was out of the blue, got elected, but people were saying, the whispers at the time were, and it's all flashing to me now, is that he maybe was the only guy that could sort out the books, and the books were a mess.
Well, he doesn't think he can sort it out, but he thinks he can oversee the sorting out.
Right, okay. Now, you have a long...
It's a 10-year project.
Okay.
I said I can do it in 7.
Were you recently knighted? by the Vatican as well.
2 nights.
2 nights. Which ones?
Wait, I have 2 knighthoods, a Commander of the Cross, Knight of Templar, one other one, 5.
Why won't you accept a British knighthood?
Well, I haven't been offered. And we're working on that. I want to sit in the House of Lords.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You could sit next to Lord Bailey, the guy that ran against me for mayor. Jesus, there's some dummies in there.
Well, I don't know him, but, well, not my friend, but Lord Lilly, who used to be on my board.
You used to call them all Lord Shitbags.
Correct, I did.
Because...
But I am one now, so it's all right.
All right, so that's still on the cards.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I thought you'd been offered before, but you'd turned it down.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, so you got these different knighthoods. Well, the Queen, the cross is from the Queen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Vatican knighthood, and then maybe the British knighthood. You would accept it if offered?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We need probably somebody besides Labor in to get you that one, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Vatican, because famous quote when you were with Freshfields, right? We do business with the Bank of England, the Church of England, the Queen of England.
And Dan Pena.
But you were doing business with the Vatican back then, or you knew about the business?
No.
You shared a law firm.
Well, no, partly.
Yeah.
But in 1982...
I know way too much about you, Dan.
Okay, in 1982, when the Vatican Bank explosion of corruption with the mafia, and the Archbishop Manchinkas, who was the guy, and I kissed his ring I don't know how many times, was found to be laundering money. But he just died recently in Arizona at the retirement home for his order of priests. Wow. So in those days, you didn't put people in jail. You just shipped them off someplace.
Okay.
And the then Secretary of State was involved, and I was involved, and the deal blew up. And a lot of guys went to jail. A few got killed. The Carlo Rivo, who was called the mafia banker, who was in the Vatican Bank, allegedly hung himself from London Bridge.
Right here.
Okay. And,
Blackfriars Bridge.
Yeah, Blackfriars, with his hands tied behind
his back, and hung himself. That was in the 80s, right?
Yeah.
I remember hearing that story.
83, yeah.
Something that normally doesn't happen in London.
No, it doesn't.
Right, something that wrong.
So then in the 90s, I came back again. 15 years had passed. I didn't get in trouble. I was a co-conspirator, unindicted co-conspirator. I was at the low end, so they didn't. They thought then, and probably now, that I wasn't high up enough to do anything harmful.
Okay, high up in which organization?
In the bank, the Vatican Bank.
Oh, the Vatican Bank.
I was at that time with Onassis Group.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And so then in the 90s, I decided, we should resurrect this, because I volunteered because the church was almost bankrupt in the early 80s.
Okay.
Well, closer to bankruptcy today, because of all the billions they paid out for the abuse rulings against them, rightfully so, that they did all this bad stuff to the little kids.
Okay.
So then I went back in the early 90s, and I said, let's get this fucking thing going again.
All right, and the only reason we're talking about the church is because they brainwashed you as an altar boy.
Correct.
No, I was the first to admit that.
I was a wannabe altar boy. I never got to be an altar boy.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
This is the hole in your heart you're filling.
My family couldn't afford the $8 for the little uniform.
Okay. So you say I have trauma issues. You have trauma issues.
Well, mine are with God. Yours aren't with God. Yours are with your Father.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's why you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'm here to save your soul.
Okay.
See, I was going to wait till the end now, but I'll say it now.
Yeah?
Okay.
Is it working?
So I went back in the 90s, and I said, I want to resurrect this. And so we're still almost broke. And so at that time, a Carmelite priest who I'd known all my life, he was kind of like our family priest. I said, John, I want somebody to hear my confession. Well, John said, well, Dan, I've known you all your life. I'll hear your confession. No, I want a senior guy. So they found me this war correspondent / priest named Monsignor Peresina. So I prepared for about a month, and I had a yellow tab, legal tab this long, every line on both sides of the paper with thousands and thousands and thousands of sins. So I went there to hear my confession. We're sitting in his drawing room, and I said, "Bless me, Father, I have sinned. It has been such and such years. Now they call it reconciliation." And so I get about to the third page. So he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Peña, we're sitting just like this," and he takes it from me and he flips through it and he says, "Sodom and Gomorrah have got nothing on you. You maimed, murdered, killed." Correct. So he takes it, he goes over to the fireplace, he throws it in the fireplace. I go over there trying to get it. Why are you doing that, Monsignor? Nobody should see that. So we're sitting back having our coffee, and I said, well, what's my penance? He says, go home and hug your wife and say you love your wife and your kids. What kind of goddamn penance is that? Anyway, the next morning, my priest buddy calls me and says, Dan, you're sitting down. Monsignor Persina died last night after he saw you.
Peter Thiel took $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion using the exact same techniques we're using inside the investment club. He met a CEO, his name was Zuckerberg. He pitched him the deal and he said, okay, I'll give you $500,000. Mark went public and sold the shares to people like you. Well, what happened to Peter? Well, he exited and got a 2,300x return. The wealthy invest in early stage companies, folks. The public markets are for suckers. It's a rigged game. By the way, this happens in crypto as well. It's called pre-sale tokens. This is Solana. Does anybody know this chain? They sold pre-sale tokens for 4 cents. And you can see the date on there, April 5th, 2018. Look at Solana today, folks. That thing's up over 1,000x. The media and Wall Street and all these hype people get you to buy the top. Meanwhile, they put their clients in at the bottom and they use you for liquidity to make their clients rich. You can play this same game. You just have to have the financial education and the deal flow. That's it.
So I decided to put back on
The evil rubbed off on him.
Nobody wants me to fix anything.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you were going to help at that point.
Correct.
All right.
And they know I know how to do it.
Okay.
Okay. Fast forward
Is this
20 years.
divine stopping you, or is it somebody behind the scenes pushing buttons?
They say the devil.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes
Yeah,
there.
okay. So fast forward 25 years, I decided it's time to do it again, like in the last few years.
Okay.
I'm, getting these awards from the church, blah, 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 blah. I got to see the Pope 8 weeks ago. He was a nice guy, regular guy.
That's not easy to do, is it?
Huh?
That's not easy.
No, it is.
Right.
But if you need something done, Brian, there's only one guy no matter what, they can get it done. That's me, no matter what. And so, anyway, so I come back and I start enlisting my little staff. And the day before yesterday, the Archbishop of Los Angeles, Gomez, was contacted by one of my mentees, we are pushing it forward. They're sitting on between $3 and $7 trillion in revenue they're not collecting. 3 and 7.
Revenue. Okay.
So let's just say it's 3.
These are contributions from other churches?
No. 5 years ago, if you were a parish priest, you collected like between $7,000 and $12,000 a week in the basket.
Yeah.
Now you get $50, $100, $300.
Oh, right. Okay.
They haven't paid their light bills and those kind of bills for eons.
Okay.
And the only reason they haven't been evicted is because it's the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Okay. So I've been working on this for 2 or 3 years, and Sally and I have built, and I hooked up with Saint Teresa, and I put my money on, or before she was a saint, Mother Teresa, because she had a cutthroat business attitude. She would do anything, lie, cheat, steal, and in the name of the kids, okay, which I won't lie, but I certainly have stolen. And so and we built missions in Sri Lanka, China, the Philippines, Japan, the United States for the last 20 years for the Missionaries of Charity, which is Saint Teresa, now Saint.
Yeah, you're quite involved in that.
Oh yeah, very involved.
Yeah.
And not just with
and
money.
You go visit too.
Oh
and
yeah,
you see the
you
kids.
see pictures of me. Yeah, I see all the kids.
And
I've actually taken a kid that is put in the tray at one of Saint Teresa's missions with the umbilical cord cut. They put the kid in the tray, and so the nuns on the other side of the wall pull the kid out, and then I've seen that kid raised through grammar school, junior high school, college. In some cases, get married. In some cases, get a job. Because I've been doing it over 20 years. Okay. So I've seen the cycle. I can see with these eyes, that's actually happened.
Why is he in a tray? Because he's being given up by his mom.
He's being abandoned.
Because out of wedlock or...
Just like you.
Okay.
Abandoned in a different way.
Okay, like all your kids.
Huh?
Okay.
Okay.
Like all your devotees.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Seriously. All my devotees have been abandoned in one sense or another.
I know.
That's
why we're here.
Okay. And so, but I've seen that with my own eyes.
Wow.
And so...
that must be a trip.
Oh yeah. And the first one about 2 or 3 years ago, had a kid. She went out and got married, and she married some guy in the army.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.
Hi, it's Brian Rose from London Real. You probably know that we've just recently been re-platformed on YouTube after 25 months completely in the dark. The truth is, I really need your help. What I really need you to do is click on that subscribe button right now, like this video, and maybe even leave a comment or share the link with friends. We're really fighting against an algorithm that's tried to keep us quiet for so long. And the more subscribers we have, the more people watch our content, the better guests we can bring you, the better content, and we can continue transforming lives. We've been doing this for 14 years now. I want to do this for another 14 years, but I really need your help. So click on that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment, share this, and we're going to continue to bring you more and more great content. Thank you.